Good morning, my peepers. Welcome to Shalene's Creativity Room. It is Floss O Ween, day 29. Yes, 2 more days till Halloween. As you can see, I am awake. It's 8:15. I have a Zoom with a nurse at 10 a.m. to check up on me, so I got up early making this video. I am still a little sleepy, but I couldn't sleep anymore. Does that make sense? It's all part of like insomnia. Yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about what happened yesterday after we discussed the stitching and the movies. So yesterday I had spun the wheel and it landed on Greta Goldbloom. It's a Bella Filipina. I do not have this on PDF. I only have this as a paper chart. So here's Greta Goldbloom. I am on this part. So it's got a few pages, so I just stitch one whole page. Once that's stitched, I will add the back stitching and then I'll move on to another page. That's how I stitch on them. And then when the whole thing's done, that's when I add the beads. So yesterday I put in maybe 200 stitches. So I'm working on 823, which is a dark blue, so I did some here and then here and here, and now I'm up here. So I will continue that today for a little bit. And I stitched on this while I watched Ghostbusters 2. So, yeah. And this is a over-dyed sparkly fabric I've had for a long time. So there's that. Today's movie is Ghostbusters from 2016. I never watched that. I need to watch Doc from last night and General Hospital from Monday and yesterday. So, let's see what we're stitching on today. I am sleepy. We have the wheel app that says Halloween Autumn, Halloween Autumn. And let's spin the wheel. And it is simply meant to be. Yes. Simply meant to be. Okay, hide the slice. It is a Hade. Let me go grab it.
You've got mail.
Hade. Where are my Hades? Where'd they go? Oh, there it is. Okay, simply meant to be. Okay, so it's the artworks by Sherry Gerhardt. It is a take on Jack and Sally. I know my friend Shell did it as a story keep. And it is, how many stitches? 450 stitches wide by 572 high. And It's on 25 count gridded Lugana, and I'll probably switch over to tent stitch. There is a lot of white in here that you can't really see on camera. Maybe you can. But yeah, I'm switching over to tent stitch. That's what I have done. And again, that's what it looks like. So you got Jack, Sally, and Zero, which I am wearing. These are my pajamas. And the bottoms have Jack on them. Jack Skeleton. So, yeah. So that's what I will stitch on some today. I already feel like I need a nap. I've only been awake a short time. I've probably been awake about half an hour now. Yeah. Okay, so that's for today. Let me write in here, simply meant to be. So, on the way to the hospital, my brother-in-law calls my husband and says, I answered the phone because Scott was driving, and we don't have his phone hooked up to the Bluetooth through the car yet. Mine is, his isn't. So, I answered the phone, and he's like, I decided to ride with you guys. I'm like, we're already on our way. It's like, oh. Well, he says, to be honest, it was not my idea. It was my sister's that I should be going with Scott to keep him company. Like, yeah, he's a little nervous. Probably could use the company. So we get to the hospital. Now, the phone call I got on Monday, I was told, you go to the front desk, they'll tell you where surgery is. You'll go in, you have to register at 1 o'clock, and then go up to the imaging and get the contrast. Okay. So when I get there, first of all, finding the parking spot in the parking garage, because everybody's driving SUVs now, they do not make the parking spots wide enough. They still make them for little cars. So, you know, you saw 2 parking spots. There was no way Scott could park in them. One person was parked right on the line, and that might be because of who was parked on the other side of them. So he finally found a parking spot, which was fine because it was actually on the same level as the entrance to the hospital, so we didn't have to walk far. So we get there, and I go to the front desk like I'm told, and he said go to imaging, and then when you're done there, you go down to surgery. And I said I'm supposed to register at surgery at 1 o'clock. My contrast is at 1:30. And he said, no, just go to imaging first, and then you'll go down. Because I was there a little early anyways, probably at like 1:15. Fine. So I go to imaging. I check in. I did tell them I'm supposed to register at surgery at 1 o'clock, and my contrast is really at 1:30. They're like, you're fine. They'll know you're here. Okay. So I waited for them to call my name. They called my name. She gave me the contrast, and she said, I explained to her what I was told, and she goes, yeah, don't worry about it. They know you're here. I said, okay. I should have gone with my gut feeling. So she takes me down to where the surgery is. It was down 1 level, and I signed in. I get called, and the lady at the desk said, You were supposed to come here first and register. I said, see, I knew that. So I explained what happened at the front desk in Imogen, and she said she's going to have to speak to the front desk people. And she said, but from now on, come to the surgery. I said, well, I hope I don't need this again. And so she's taken all my information, and she has a card, and it has Scott's name and his cell phone number. So she yells out, Scott. Well, this other guy got up, and he comes over, and she asks to see his driver's license, and I said, but he's not my husband. And she just kept talking to him, and I thought, well, maybe he was supposed to give her information about his wife, and he hadn't done it yet. So I let them get on, and then he walks away, and then she says something about, I'm done. And I said, but that was not my husband. And she said, oh, I thought you were joking. I said, no, I was not joking. I said, that guy there is my husband, Scott. So she starts laughing. Everybody in there bursts out laughing in the waiting room because it was funny. And so my husband gets up and talks to her, and then we go sit down, and I said that the nurse will come get me. So I asked him to hold on to my phone, and he said my husband says there's a $10 charge for me to hold on to your stuff. So one of the other guys that was sitting in the waiting room says, maybe you should give it to the other Scott. He might not charge you. So finally the nurse comes and gets me, and Scott says, I'll go see you later. I'm going to Texas Roadhouse to eat. And I looked at the other Scott, and I said, maybe I need to switch husbands. So everybody in there got a big kick out of the whole thing. It was funny. So the nurse is like, no, you can come down with us. Just wait here a couple minutes, and then I'll come get you on, or she says, we'll text you on what room she's in the surgery unit. He goes, I'm going to go get a coffee, because he hadn't had a coffee, he wanted a coffee. So he went and got a coffee while they were getting me situated and getting a gown on me and checking on my vitals, and then they text Scott to come down. Well, meantime, while he was in the waiting room with me to get the contrast, his brother did call him back and said, I would like to come to the hospital and sit with you. So Scott's like, okay. So by the time Scott came down and found me in the surgery room, his brother was with him. So that was good, because Scott was nervous really bad, and I was fine. I was fine all day yesterday. So, you know, they're in the bed thing, and they're wheeling you towards surgery. Now, towards the surgery, before they turn, you're heading straight to the doors that say cafeteria. I looked at the person who's pushing me, and I said, really? I said, this is the worst setup at the hospital. Everybody that's having surgery has been told, do not eat after midnight. Do you know how many of us are hungry, and you're wheeling us straight towards the cafeteria before you turn? I said, that was a horrible setup, and he just kind of chuckled. I don't know if I'm the first person to complain about that, but I'm like, really, people? Really? So they got me in the room. I had to scoot over onto the operating table, and they put the, anesthesia through my vein, and they put the oxygen mask over me, and he said, take a couple deep breaths and then breathe normal. I don't remember breathing normal. I just remember taking a couple deep breaths, and I was freaking out. I don't remember shit. So when I come to, I'm already in the room I was in before, and they asked me if I wanted my gown back on, and I said, yeah. They said, well, when we asked you in the surgery room if you wanted your gown back on, you said no because you were too hot. Yeah, I don't remember. They said, what's your pain? I said, my breast does not hurt. I said, but my right knee right now is killing me. They go, that's your arthritis. Well, that's because I was laying in the same spot for how long? My knee locked up because I can't have my knee straight all the time. I have to have it bent a little bit. So, yeah, my knee was killing me. So they did end up giving me some Tylenol. And then once the knee felt, after 5 minutes, the knee was fine. And then I could feel on my breast. So they're like, well, we wanted you to get you the Oxy, but the pharmacy's already closed in the hospital. So we'll send the prescription to your Walgreens. And I said, that's fine. That closes at 8. Well, we didn't leave the hospital till after 7, and we had to stop and get something to eat. So we got into town about 5 minutes after the pharmacy closed. So Justin's going to pick that up because Scott went to work today. So Justin's going to pick up my prescription, and then he's going to sit with me for a few hours today. But I did take, like I said, they gave me something at the hospital, and I woke up at like 1:30 this morning. I took Tylenol then, and I sat up for about an hour playing some games on my phone. And went back to bed. So I was only awake for about an hour. I am sleepy again, but I have to stay awake because I have the Zoom meeting at 10, and then I'll probably take a nap. I do have my Crafty Wednesday Zoom today. I do plan on going in, and I'll stitch then. I'll try it this morning, but mostly this morning I'm going to play Animal Crossing. I need to have breakfast, and I could smell it. I made a pot of coffee, apple cider donut flavored, so I'll have some of that. And yeah, because I had to wait because I took my thyroid pill when I woke up, so now I can eat and have coffee. So, yeah, just tired, and the contrast is still making me pee blue. I drink a lot of water, and I drank water up until 2 o'clock yesterday because they told me to. So I was drinking water, and I drank a lot of water last night, so I'm trying to flush that contrast out of my system, and, you know, the, anesthesia. But yeah, so that was it. Surgery went really well. There was no issues. I don't have, like I said, a lot of pain right now. I can feel something, but it doesn't really hurt. It's mostly uncomfortable. I have to wear, they put on me a tight bra, and they gave me an extra one. I don't know how long I have to wear that for. My paperwork didn't say. So when the nurse does the Zoom with me, I will ask how much longer do I have to wear these bras. So, yeah. Tired. Sorry. I am tired. I'm just afraid to fall asleep and I'll miss the Zoom meeting. So, yeah, I don't want to miss the Zoom meeting. I think Justin will be here before the Zoom meeting, but I'm not positive. So, let's see. Yeah, I'm going to go get something to eat. I am hungry, and have a cup of coffee, and I'm just going to sit and play Animal Crossing. So I will see you guys in Zoom. And if you don't come to Zoom, I will see you guys tomorrow morning for Floss O Ween. We're getting closer. Love you guys. You all have a fantastic day. Bye.